Tick-tock. That's the countdown to a government shutdown unless they can pass this budget bill. 1 day, 17 hours, 24 minutes. In other words, midnight tomorrow night. Let's bring in Republican Congressman Sean Duffy. He joins us from Statuary Hall. He's not wearing a necktie. Congratulations, by the way, Congressman, because effective this weekend, you have your wife back because she's been co-hosting Fox and Friends Weekend, and Abby Huntsman's coming back.
She has been, and it's great to have her home, but thanks for being so nice to her. She's really enjoyed her time with you guys on Fox and Friends.
She is very talented. You're a lucky guy.
Well, she's done a great job. Let's talk to you also about the omnibus spending bill. Deadline has to be passed by tomorrow night at midnight or the government shuts down. Is that going to happen?
I don't think we're going to have a shutdown, but you have a lot of members of Congress who are upset about what's happened. I mean, and just so you guys know how the process works, you pass a budget. We did that last year in the House, and then you pass 12 appropriations bills. You break this up into 12 bills. We did that in the House. We sent that to the Senate, and the Senate is so dysfunctional, they didn't do any appropriations. So what happens is you have to pile all this money into one bill. We've had less than 24 hours to review this thing. It's 2,200 pages, and we have to vote on it. And the problem is, there's really good spending in here. We increase funding for our military. We give our troops a pay raise. We help with VA spending. We address opioids. We build money. We send out money for the wall. All good stuff. But man, we're $21 trillion in debt, and we're spending way too much money. So you put, guys like me in a hard place where you want to vote for the good stuff, but you don't want to vote for the bad stuff. But you have to take it or leave it, and that's what we're left with today.
Right.
And I think it'll probably pass the House. And we'll see what happens over in the Senate, but a lot of us are unhappy with this process.
A couple of things. No one's reading 2,000 pages in 20 hours. No. It's not going to happen, even if your staff fans out and does it, and how are you going to agree on it? I think what bothers me most is the wall funding. I mean, it's $1.6 billion. Think, well, that's not close to enough. But not only that, they make you use the current technology. You're not allowed to use a solid wall where a solid wall was done. You're not allowed to build it higher. All those prototypes, that ends up being just a big facade. Because this is pure politics. Because the polling shows America wants a legitimate barrier, and this just seems to be a shot at Donald Trump and his agenda. That's got to bother you.
So two things. One, it's not the $25 billion that Donald Trump asked for, but we're over $1 billion in wall funding, and that's only from today until the end of September. So that's plenty of money to continue construction. The problem is, in the Senate, you need Democrat votes, and so Democrats get to put their fingerprints on this bill. They don't like Donald Trump. They don't like border security. They want an open border, and so they push back on, on what Donald Trump ran on, which is border security and building a wall. And you know what? It's a dysfunctional process. And by the way, Paul Ryan has commissioned a group of House and Senate Democrats and Republicans to work through new reforms to this budget and spending process, because this is insane. Not only
the way
we
it's
can't
done,
read it,
it's ridiculous.
But how do you get feedback from the American people? How do you get feedback from your constituents to say, I love this, or I hate that, and you should vote for it or vote against it?
Right.
They can't even weigh in.
Right. Well, it's not wall funding. It's funding for a fence, effectively, according to the stuff I've read from PBS.
See-through. You got to be able to see through it.
Yeah.
Right.
The president's upset by it.
It's a fence. You mentioned the Democrats, Congressman, and here's what's puzzling to me, because we have learned this past week that apparently this is being negotiated just by 4 people, the leaders from the House and the Senate on both sides. And while the president apparently was saying, okay, let's do something with DACA in there, he didn't get his wall funding. And the Democrats apparently didn't push for DACA. I'm shocked at that. This would have been their opportunity. Come November, what are they going to tell the people?
You're not shocked by that, because listen, Democrats don't want a DACA fix. Donald Trump offered 1.8 million DACA people to get protection under his plan. There's only 700,000, 800,000 in the program right now, so 1 million more kids would be protected. If Democrats cared about DACA kids, they would work with the president and Republicans. What they want is a political issue. They want to use this against Republicans to try to turn out votes. That's all this is about. This is about politics, not about people. So it doesn't surprise me in the least bit. And you pointed out earlier, America supports the president's plan. They want a DACA fix. They want border security. They want to end chain migration. So this doesn't make a lot of sense to me why Democrats are being so obstinate on this issue.
Speaking of Democrats, Joe Biden, former vice president, was down in Miami, and he was speaking about the nationwide movement against sexual assault. And he was encouraging violence, talking about what he would do to the president. Listen to this.
when a guy who ended up becoming a national leader said I can grab a woman anywhere and she likes it, they asked me would I like to debate this gentleman. I said no. I said we're in high school. I take it behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
You heard that, right? How do you
Yeah, I
feel
did.
about that?
I thought that love trumps hate, you guys. What's up with that? We're now promoting violence from crazy Uncle Joe. Listen, here's the problem with Joe Biden. One, as a sitting vice president, he had a chance to run for president, but he was frightened away by Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. He didn't have the backbone to run for president. Exactly, and so he's going to now come and say, oh, I'm a tough guy, I'm going to take on Donald Trump. I would bet on Donald Trump, whether they're back in high school or today, to take out Joe Biden. But this is ridiculous. When you can't win the debate, you go to violence. And this is what the Democrats' playbook is.
Right.
And they all sit there and applaud, oh, go, Joe, you're so tough. It's ridiculous.
Well, in fact, here's what the president
is
just
not,
tweeted.
He's not quoting you, but he's close. You refer to him as crazy Uncle Joe. The president just tweeted, crazy Joe Biden is trying to act like a tough guy. Actually, he is weak, both mentally and physically, and yet he threatens me for the second time with physical assault. He doesn't know me, but he would go down fast and hard, crying all the way. Don't threaten people, Joe.
I would love to roll back Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future and see what happens behind that stadium with those two guys. But Donald Trump's a big guy. But listen, you know what? They're not winning the debate right now. They've had historic losses in the Democrat Party. And instead of talking about ideas and issues that drive a political agenda and motivate people, this is what they resort to. And you know what? What we do is talk about ideas that help the middle class, middle income people. And that's why we're winning elections. And that's why Democrats are going to continue to lose.
Well, and he's just trying to get the female vote and from the president, and that seems to be the Democratic playbook.
Okay, go read your 2,000-page omnibus, would you?
God help me.
Thank you, Sean.
You guys
Best
have a good
Rachel.
morning.
All right, Jillian, we don't know your budget, but we were just talking budget. Do you have anything else on your mind?
No, actually,
think
I've got nothing. I'm just sitting here listening to this
Oh,
conversation,
you really?
which is very
Well,
enlightening.
would you read me something?
I would read you something, yes.
Okay.
How about this? The manhunt is intensified.